I get it. You want the best team in the game, and I don't blame you. The game's a little more fun when you have all the best cards, but not everyone's got 400 million coins to build the best team. So let's go over some new cards here, which you can use and put into your team right now and have a super competitive team today. And shout out to our sponsor for the video today, Prize Picks, where you can turn $10 into 1,000. Yeah, you can win up to 100 times your money. You want to go check it out, download it on the App Store, use code CC when you sign up. They will match your first deposit up to $100. All you got to do is pick more or less. You smart enough? Maybe. You just might be. Boys, so this is this is the team. This is kind of like God Squad-ish sort of aspect here that we're looking at, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need all these cards. You don't need all these cards at all. What we are going to do is we're going to talk about a bunch of cards today that you can use, and we're going to show you the final price of the team based on what we are recommending here. The big new hotness, obviously, is the Baked On Avalanche. Those cards are expensive. I don't even have Cam Chancellor. I might as well just buy him because we can't take the coins with us. But nonetheless, that's a thing you can do. Something else, when you are planning to build your team or however you want to do it, keep in mind, you can do UL solos and get someone like Ray Lewis for free. You can do your AKA solos and get someone like Richard Sherman for free. So I'm not going to include those cards in here, but there are free cards. There are free ways to get some cards and stuff. So keep that in mind here. But let's go over some stuff. And we're going to start on the offensive line part. The big thing that you really need, let's be honest, is Secure Protector, okay? So if you need a Secure Protector, there's a few of them out there. Andrew Thomas. I know some of these cards are a little pricier, and you're going to be a little pricier on the offensive side of the ball here, but Secure Protectors, as many as you can get, fantastic, great. If you can't get some of them, that's okay, because there's enough. Do not worry about playing your offensive line out of position. You've got Andrew Thomas. We have Jordan Morgan here, both left tackles, both good. Okay, Jordan Morgan gets it for 0. He does. Okay. Up next, when you go to left guard, yeah, you can get Quentin Nelson if you want. This one, you don't need to do that though. If you're not gonna have 5 Secure Protectors, that's okay. Just get a few. Get 1, get 2, get 3, whatever it is. Center, again, they want you to use Jason Kelsey's. No, we're not paying for that. We're not paying for that. Again, we have options here. Jason Kelsey's 2 million coins. You can go out and you can do your solos and get Robert Hunt for free. You can get him for free. Okay? You can. And he gets 0 AP Secure Protector. That's nice. And we have a few other options here. JC Latham, again, I know he's a little expensive, but you can get Tyler Guyton. He gets 0 AP Secure Protector. You can go fix up this Rob Havenstein. He gets 0 AP Secure Protector. That's all I care about on my offensive line. I don't care about their heights, their weights, or any of those things. Really don't care about it, but those are the guys you should be focusing on. And if we ever get new cards that come through and have a 0 AP Secure Protector, that's where you should look. Let's be honest. Up next, let's talk about wide receiver. Now, to me, some 97 speed, 98 speed, it's all really kind of similar. And if you're good enough, you can be fine with that. The ability that I think people should be using is Jukebox. Jukebox on receivers. You can get a lot of them for 0 as well. There's a lot of them out there. If you want to spend your coins on a fancy wide receiver, you can do that. Jerry Rice, Malik Neighbors, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Johnson, Roma Dunze, Randy Moss, Cooper Kupp's 98, Sun God, Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Worthy, Michael Irvin, Isaac Bruce, just to name a few. And some of them not all that expensive. Jerry Rice, I know y'all know I don't like him. He used to be kind of close to a rental. Calvin Johnson's kind of an end game receiver, but see, Jerry's got it baked on there. So that's a good card. It's better than some of these other cards that you can get. And again, if you really want to go cheap, there are some cheaper options. This Cooper Cup is 210,000 coins. That's basically his quick sell. Amon-Ra St. Brown, also basically pretty close to his quick sell value there. Very good cards. Ricky Pearsall. You're like, who is? I don't even know who this guy is. All right, well, he's a 6'1" receiver with 98 speed. I'm sorry if that's not good enough for you, but you can go through and you can put Jukebox on him. Now, again, if you're wanting to not use Jukebox, you want to use some other catching abilities or apprentice abilities, by all means, go for it. But that's what we're going to try to use with our quarterback in here as well. Quarterback. So receivers, you have plenty of options. Xavier, again, it's not a bad card. It's just not a bad card. 6'3" wide receiver, and guess what he gets? The Jukebox for 0, okay? It's the best offensive ability for a wide receiver. It just is. It just is. Okay? Lots of very good options. We will show you a team with all those options. When we're talking about running back, there's a couple things you can do here. If you want to use AP on an angry runs, Eric Dickerson or Bo Jackson is still. I know you're like, Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo Jackson. This card is still very good. Okay, he is. Angry runs combine. Now again, if you're using an X Factor that can get sort of zapped out, it is what it is. If you're not going to use these things, then you still get a 0 AP evasive on him there. Okay, still very good. I want at a minimum Jukebox, evasive, that sort of thing on my running back. And there's just quite a few of them, but Bo Jackson is cheap. He's cheap. Don't overpay. Don't overpay for these running backs. Bo Jackson will still do absolutely everything for you. He's the best budget option at running back, and he's probably RB2 still. You could even say he's RB1 over Dickerson if you really wanted to. Fantastic card still. EA, you kind of screwed up on that one. Now, unfortunately, at tight end, some of the things you may want, you're not going to be able to get. Okay? 0 AP Jukebox on tight end is fantastic. Mark Bavaro, TJ Hawkinson, Tony Gonzalez are the only ones that are going to get it. None of those cards are cheap. None of those cards are cheap. So I like to go down to rental Kyle Pitts here. Rental Kyle Pitts. He's a rental. He's 97 speed. And if you want to Genki force him up, you can get tight end apprentice, third down threat. Not that his abilities are great, but you can also grab and go is kind of nice. Slot apprentice if you want to play him elsewhere. Again, he's almost 400,000 coins. Don't buy this one, and you can literally get rid of him at any point in time and get all of your coins back. There's always one up. This person is literally losing coins. It quick sells for 350,000. I could rent this card right now for 18,000 coins. It's been up there for 4 hours. Okay, Kyle Pitts is a fine tight end there. Or if you want to go elsewhere, go get Bo Jackson tight end. Again, I hate that that's the thing. If you're running a 2 tight end set, Bo Jackson tight end, still also very good. What more do you really want? If you want to X Factor him, I mean, I guess you could. I'm not doing that personally. He doesn't get great abilities necessarily everywhere, but he does get 0 AP tight end apprentice, which can be very helpful if you don't have a hot route master quarterback. But tight end, those are like the only two I would really be going with on a budget. Everyone else just a little bit overpriced for what they are, to be honest. The key part to what you're doing, you need the quarterback. You do need a quarterback. And who you pick as your quarterback could also be based on the amount of coins you want to spend. And please go into here and make sure you know what the AP that you want to use on your quarterbacks is, because it matters. To me, there's a few. The best quarterbacks are obviously pretty expensive. Chad Powers is pretty expensive. Lamar Jackson's pretty expensive. They would be 1 and 2. They would. But you can also still legitimately, why are we going back to him? Bo Jackson quarterback is still very good. He's still very good. A downside with him, you could get zapped. Set feet lead, Hara Master Gunslinger, right? All good in there. Throw a Master Tactician on him. Takes a little bit of time, but that's fine. If you're on a budget, you can't get the best of the best at all times. If you wanted to try someone else who's okay, Joe Burrow's okay. Again, I am all about, you got to spend your coins somewhere. Quarterback is a great place. Roaming Deadeye for 0 just built onto him here. He's got a bunch of abilities that he can get in here. Still very solid, very, very solid. But if you want to, if you don't want to go all in, go get Bo. Understand how that is. Okay. You could pick someone else if you really, really wanted, but man, I don't know why you would. Bo is still a fantastic option. This is a very reasonably priced offense. And it's an extremely competitive team still. We move to defense. And when you are building your defense, you need to decide, where are my X factors, CC? That's up to you. Do you want to have pass rush X factors? Do you want to have coverage X factors? Do you want to have avalanche X factors? Oh, avalanche, but I don't want to pay 3 million coins for safety or 6 million coins. All right, we're going to discuss all of that and figure out where you can do it. Again, when you're building out your defense here, there's a few cards. Christian Barmore gets some very nice abilities for free. And he's fat. We like kind of fat. He's 200,000 coins, but inside stuff for 0. No outsiders for 0. That's not bad. At left end, that's not bad. Again, if you want X factors, then you go figure out what your X factors are. I'm just showing you non-X factor versions. If you want an almost rental of a card right here, Howie Long doesn't get supreme X factors, but if you want to put all this stuff on him, you can get inside stuff for 0. No outsiders, right? Stuff like that. One thing I will say is that when you can afford edge threat elites on your players, sometimes it's going to be 0. It's worth having it on there. Couple things to note. The edge threat part of it won't work when you contain. We're not doing it for the edge threat part. We're doing it for the under pressure part. It's just discounted under pressure. A very good thing in there. I really like using this Roman Reigns card. To me, I know he's not a real thing. You can obviously you could X factor him up if you want to, like I have. Go back into him actually. His I don't overly care about what the attributes are on a lot of these cards, but I can go through and I can put something like that on him, or edge threat elite for 1. Edge threat elite for 1. So I basically get an under pressure for 1, and then we will take that at the right end spots there for sure. When we go to defensive tackle, again, it's you just have to make some choices here. Mean Joe Green gets a ton of abilities. Harrison Phillips is still a very good card. If you can get this card near rental, I know he's 82 speed. Don't overly care. He's a pretty good card. Under pressure for 1, inside stuff for 1 there. Interior threat. It's a decent card. Again, do not overspend on your pass rush. You don't need to. The game is going to figure it all out for you. That's where your pass rush is going to come from. Find some under pressures, some edge threat elites for cheap, whoever that happens to be. Pick out where you want your X factors. But one of the big things that people want right now is avalanche, right? And then you want it the always on versions, sort of. So again, at left outside linebacker, it all depends what you want to do. If this is this a user? Is this even someone that sees the field? If it's not someone who sees the field, don't worry about it. If you can get Ted Hendricks for near rental, just pick him up. It's fine. Bruce Irvin is probably the best option here. We don't need to go the best option. If you want to waste an AP, you can go get Calvin and do something with that. I'm not overly worried about that position. Middle linebacker is more where, like, I'm using 3 or 4 of them at this point. And what we want to do there is again, if you can get Ray Lewis, perfectly fine. If you're looking for Avalanche, Brian Bosworth, guess what? Gets Avalanche. And it turns on very quickly. And it's not like he's a bad card. You just got to put some tokens in him. He gets Avalanche right there, and it turns on. Enforcer for 0, Lurk Artist, Mid Zone. I'm okay with paying a little bit of AP. I find that I have a lot of extra AP actually. Otherwise, again, you're gonna have to go up in price a little bit. Patrick Willis, again, I know it feels like an old card, but he is still a very good card, and you can get him for almost rental. And if you want to do something, he gets Avalanche, NFL Combine. Does take 9 plays to get there. Totally fine with that. Mid zone for 1, Lurk Artist for 0. Again, if you have the AP, it's totally fine. And you're, instead of paying for, you are going to pay extra for 0 AP stuff on there. Next set of linebackers we want to talk about, Derek Brooks. This is when we talk about paying a little extra. This is where you're paying a little extra for it, right? Derek Brooks is 1 speed faster than Patrick Willis. He is more expensive, and he saves you an AP. You can get mid zone, flat zone. He's already got Lurk Artist on there. He's slightly better. No Avalanche or anything like that. But again, you are paying extra for that. You know, we're not in the place to pay extra, boys. No, we are not. Otherwise, the rest of these cards, meh. If you could get this LT for a decent price, that's not bad. Don't overpay for him. He's got some okay. Again, if you're not going to be pass rushing and using some of this stuff, at least having some of this stuff out here is okay. Again, you're probably not going to use all your tokens on him, but if you get him for cheap, that's fine. If you get him for close to a rental, that's fine. Otherwise, again, Patrick Willis, fantastic. You want some Avalanche, get Bosworth. Who cares? I don't. Oh, he's not the fastest. Who cares? Who cares? We're balling on a budget. And when it comes to budget, I'm gonna ask you to spend some coins here. I'm going to tell you to go get Brian Branch. You're going to get Brian Branch. He's very good. If you've watched me play, he's very good. Obviously, the stats look good there. And it depends what you want to do ability-wise, right? Deep zone, flat zone, mid zone, all good. Again, put your abilities on based on the way you like to play with him. Is he on the outside? You can play him at safety too. Very, very easily. And he's a rental. A lot of the other cards, not really rentals. There are so many options out here. I would probably just do my solos and go get Sherman. Deion Sanders, again, he's a little bit pricier, but a versatile card. Can play safety, can play corner. I don't want to put it. He's not a good safety. Mid zone for 0, deep zone for 1 sounds pretty good to me. I think of him more as a safety. If you play a lot of cover 3, cover 4, he's an outside corner for you. Fantastic. And again, not that bad. If you want to go even cheaper and you only want to focus on like one specific sort of ability, you can. This Tariq Woolen, I love the way this card plays, but his AP situation sometimes not the best. Pick artist, deep zone, mid zone for 1, or flat zone for 1 deep. You're going to pay like a little bit more for him, but he's a big corner and he's tall. But again, the problem for me, I love putting mid zone anywhere I can. He doesn't really fit that. Charles Woodson's good. Sauce Gardner's good. Again, cheap options, but spend some coins on some rentals. It's fine. The hardest place to go cheap is safety. It really is. Most of them kind of suck. They really do. But there are far more good corners that you can play at safety for cheap. Mike Reinfeldt is 3 million coins. Dawkins is 2.4 million coins. I could buy 8 corners for the price of one of these guys. And I don't get Avalanche, and that's fine. But you're going to have some really solid cards out there. I'm not going to tell you to grind the comp pass or anything like that. But someone like Ed Reed, again, it feels like an old card. He's 96 speed, but he's at safety. That's okay. Again, when we look at this, deep zone for 1, mid zone for 0, that's not a bad safety option. He's very similar to what Deion's going to be able to do for you if you want to go save some coins. That way, you're going to lose a couple speed and some of that stuff. Rashad Jones, not a bad rental, not a great AP situation card, because he's not. and his X factors here I wouldn't really be using. Tackle Supreme, inside stuff, deep out zone. You kind of have to be a little picky there. But if there's one corner I do like using some stuff on to put anywhere, it would be Nnamdi Asomugha. I guess he's technically a corner. You could really do whatever you want with him. His price, it's a very good card. He's a very good card. Universal coverage right there. And then you can get flat zone on him for 0. You can get deep out zone or pick artist. Lots of options. I like using him because I can use universal coverage. If someone happens to use that momentum shift on me, I still have like a flat zone on him, and I can still play him in the flats or something like that. So like thinking ahead there. He's on my team. He's CB3 on my main team. Okay, still fantastic there. Free safeties, strong safeties. It's all the same. The only cheap enough safety that I would be looking at, but there's 2, I guess. Troy can be very good if you want to use a token on him. If you don't want to use a token on him, he's still fine. You still get pick artist for 0. You can get mid zone for 0, flat zone for 0, and deep zone for 1. Fantastic. Again, he's a little bit pricier. Same thing with Mr. Amani here. Solid card across the board. They didn't get the best stuff in here, but deep zone for 0, mid zone for 1. So it's the same thing. When people are getting deep zone for 1, mid zone for 0, he gets deep zone for 0, mid zone for 1. He's the first 0. Yeah, but you didn't give him all the other discounts. Still a fine card. However, if I'm on a budget, we're not spending 500,000 coins on a card that gives us the same abilities to someone who is much cheaper. Let's build a team out. I'll show you guys how much it costs. I think this is a very good team. All right, so this is basically what we're looking at. There's a couple spots kind of open, but you understand the concept here. 3 secure protectors. That's kind of where I feel like the minimum is going to cover you the best way about it. And remember, some of these cards that I have in here are the rentals or the Redux versions of them, so that technically their cost would actually be less. But the entire build we have here is 5 million coins. It sounds like a lot of coins. If you pulled 1 Cam Chancellor, you'd be able to. We could buy this team. So we got 3 secure protectors. We got 1 tight end, 3 receivers. That Michael Irvin 97, still a very good card. You can get it maybe as a rental, but he does have a Redux as well. A couple Bo Jacksons. Again, we're using some jukeboxes at receiver. Michael Irvin also gets it, so that's why we like that there. Fantastic setup. Again, 5 million coins. Okay, defensively maybe a little over the top in some spots here, but you're gonna want to spend in some spots in here. And again, Troy P. Okay, you can get Chris Harris for free from what is the comp pass. It's really quick, honestly. Dion at free safety. You don't know what to do. Throw a Bo Jackson in there. You've got 2 guys with Avalanche out here. We've got Roman Reigns, who we would be using Unstoppable Force on, or whatever it is. You could always go with Karlaftis or something like that as well if you really want. We've got a fat D tackle, which is what we like. We've got Nnamdi in the slot there. Brian Branch. Again, just a lot of options. Now, again, I don't know the defense you play. I don't know the offense you play. So I don't know if these are the exact cards that you should be using, because I don't know how you play. But what you want to do is be able to take how you play, get a notepad out, just write it down. Just write it down so you know where you need things to go. Does that make sense? Again, no punter kicker. That's a lot of that stuff's free, but that's how a team like this can look for 5 million coins. And it's a fantastic team. It's a fantastic team. We have quite a few of those cards on this team as well. Now, again, you spend how you want to spend. At the end of the year, you got a bunch of coins, do what you want, right? But again, you don't need the 4 million coin cards. You really don't. If you want to use them, that's fine. If you want to go even more budget, if that's the case, just go get a bunch of Super Bowl cards still. Ronnie Lott, Warren Sapp, Karlaftis, fantastic card. Still throw a bunch of Combine cards in there. you can have a very, very good team. It's fun. But notice we didn't include a bunch of cards which you can actually earn. The John Madden is a fine card here. There's also just a bunch of other random cards which you can have earned along the way. This Quint Nelson is a fine left guard. You don't have to use him. I just use him for combine boost. I don't even use the best right guard you could use because I'm lazy. I also like the Falcons here. So again, lots of options for you for building a pretty cheap team. This team, not cheap at all. But I promise you, the difference in my wins and losses, if I were to play 25 games of old school weekend league, let's say I win 20 games with this team, that other team is probably good enough for 18 wins. A small difference. It's a very small difference at a very different cost, especially if you're joining now. So thank you guys. Hopefully you learned something from here. There will always be new budget cards, cheaper cards. The concept of a real budget card has kind of gone away recently, especially because EA is not putting discounted abilities on lower overall cards now. And even when I say lower overall cards, I mean like 97s don't get discounted abilities. I don't know why. Well, I actually do know why, because they want you to get the fancy card. But because of that, it kind of holds us back in certain spots. Abilities run the game. You have to have them. So you got to pay up for them just a little bit. Love you guys. I'm out. Peace.